My mother-in-law announced my husband was leaving me for his secretary, right as I served the turkey. But when I pulled out my phone and showed everyone what I'd discovered about their perfect golden boy, the entire family went dead silent. Thanksgiving at the Morrison house was always a production. Crystal glasses, imported china, cloth napkins folded into perfect triangles. My mother-in-law, Patricia, had this way of making every holiday feel like a performance where I was always the understudy. For 8 years, I'd played my role perfectly. The quiet daughter-in-law who smiled through backhanded compliments and never quite measured up to their expectations. This year felt different, though. My husband, Derek, had been acting strange for months. Working late constantly, secretive phone calls, and that classic move. Suddenly caring about his appearance again. New cologne, gym membership, designer shirts. The signs were all there, but I told myself I was being paranoid. I should have trusted my instincts. The family gathered as usual. Derek's successful lawyer brother Marcus with his perfect wife, his sister Jennifer, who never missed a chance to mention her children's achievements, and of course, Patricia, the queen bee who orchestrated every conversation like a conductor directing her symphony of superiority. I'd spent 3 days preparing. Homemade stuffing, cranberry sauce from scratch, pumpkin pie that took me 6 hours. I wanted everything perfect, sensing somehow that this might be important. As we sat down, Patricia tapped her wine glass with that thin smile she reserved for special announcements. "Before we begin," she said, her voice carrying that theatrical quality she loved, "I think we all need to address the elephant in the room." My stomach dropped. Something in her tone, the way everyone suddenly couldn't meet my eyes. "Derek has some news to share with Sarah," she continued, looking at me with what I can only describe as satisfaction. "Something that will finally bring clarity to this situation." Derek shifted uncomfortably, his face flushed. "Mom, this isn't how we discussed." "Oh, sweetheart," Patricia interrupted. "There's no point in prolonging this charade. We all know about Melissa." Melissa, his secretary, 24 years old, blonde, bubbly, the one who'd been working those late nights with him. The room went completely quiet except for the grandfather clock ticking in the corner. Derek's brother Marcus actually smirked. Jennifer raised her eyebrows like she was watching her favorite reality show. "Sarah," Derek finally said, not looking at me, "I've been meaning to talk to you. Melissa and we've developed feelings for each other. We're moving in together after the holidays." Just like that. 8 years of marriage dismissed over holiday appetizers. But here's what they didn't know. I'd been 3 steps ahead of them for weeks. "Well," I said quietly, setting down my napkin, "that's interesting timing." Patricia beamed. "Sarah, dear, I know this is difficult, but sometimes these things happen. Derek deserves someone who can keep up with his ambitions, someone who understands his needs." The implication was clear. I wasn't good enough, and never had been. Marcus chimed in. "The important thing is handling this maturely, no drama." Jennifer nodded sagely. "It's really for the best. You're both young enough to start over." They had it all figured out. Poor Sarah, abandoned and heartbroken, while successful Derek upgrades to a younger model. They probably expected tears, pleading, maybe some dignity-breaking begging. Instead, I pulled out my phone. "Before we continue," I said calmly, "I think you all should see something." I opened my photo gallery and placed the phone in the center of the table. The screen showed a very clear image. Derek and Melissa, but not alone. They were with someone else. Someone Marcus would recognize immediately. Marcus went pale. What is this?" The photo showed Derek, Melissa, and Marcus's wife, Rebecca, in what was clearly a hotel room. All three of them, in various states of undress. "That's from last Tuesday," I said conversationally. "There are about 40 more photos, and several videos." Jennifer grabbed the phone, swiping through the images. Her mouth fell open. "Oh my God, Rebecca! Marcus, did you know?" Marcus looked like he was going to be sick. That can't be." "It can," I said. "And it is. Your wife's been having threesomes with my husband and his secretary for the past 6 months. Every Tuesday and Thursday. Room 247 at the downtown Marriott." The silence was deafening. Patricia's perfectly composed expression cracked. Derek found his voice. Where did you get these? I smiled. Private investigator. Cost me $3,000, but worth every penny. Did you know Rebecca told Melissa all about your family's finances? Your business deals? Those confidential client files you bring home? Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell over. You're lying. Am I? I swiped to a video. Their voices were crystal clear. Rebecca describing Marcus's biggest client, laughing about how easy it would be to steal their business. Melissa taking notes. Derek promising to help once he got his hands on my trust fund. Yes, my trust fund. The one they thought was just a small inheritance. The one that was actually worth $2.8 million. Patricia finally spoke. Sarah, how long have you known? About the affair? 2 months. About the money laundering through Derek's law firm? 3 weeks. About Rebecca selling Marcus's client information to competing firms? Just last week. I stood up, walking to my purse. I also know about the tax evasion, the falsified documents, and the fact that Derek's been stealing from his own clients' trust accounts. The room erupted, everyone talking at once, pointing fingers, demanding explanations. I pulled out a thick envelope and set it next to the turkey. These are copies of everything I've given to the FBI, the IRS, and the State Bar Association. Derek, your law license will be revoked by Monday. Marcus, your firm is about to be audited. Rebecca. I looked at Jennifer. Your sister-in-law is facing federal charges. Derek's face had gone completely white. You can't. Sarah, we can work this out. We can fix this. Fix what? I asked. The part where you planned to leave me for your secretary? Or the part where you three were going to steal my inheritance and frame me for your financial crimes? Patricia clutched her chest dramatically. Sarah, surely we can discuss this reasonably. Oh, we're past reasonable, I said. See, while you all were planning my humiliation, I was planning something else entirely. I pulled out my phone again, opening my banking app. I liquidated the trust fund yesterday, all $2.8 million. It's been transferred to an account Derek can't access. Derek lunged for the phone. That money is half mine. Actually, it's not. Thanks to the prenup your mother insisted on, my inheritance remains separate property. But here's the beautiful part. Since you're about to be disbarred and likely going to prison, our divorce will be very simple. I gathered my coat and purse. I've already filed the papers. You'll be served Monday morning, right after the FBI raid on your office. Marcus was frantically calling Rebecca, but she wasn't answering. Probably because she was already at the airport, fleeing to a country without extradition treaties. Wait, Jennifer said, finally finding her voice. What about Thanksgiving? What about family? I paused at the doorway. What about it? You just told me I was never really part of this family anyway. Patricia stood up, her composure completely shattered. Sarah, please. Derek made a mistake, but surely. A mistake, I laughed. Patricia, your son stole over $200,000 from client accounts. He was planning to disappear with my money and leave me holding the bag for his crimes. That's not a mistake. That's conspiracy. I looked around the table one more time. Enjoy your turkey. I hear prison food isn't nearly as good. The aftermath was swift and brutal. Derek was arrested at the office Monday morning. Marcus's firm collapsed within the week when the audit revealed years of financial irregularities. Rebecca was caught at Miami International trying to board a plane to the Cayman Islands with a suitcase full of cash. The local news picked up the story. Prominent law firm couple caught in multi-million-dollar scheme. Derek's picture was on the front page of the newspaper, handcuffed and humiliated. But the real satisfaction came 3 weeks later. I was sitting in my new apartment, a beautiful place overlooking the harbor, when my phone buzzed. Text message from Patricia. Sarah, I know we got off on the wrong foot. Derek is asking for you. He says he loves you. He made a terrible mistake. Can we meet for coffee? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back. Patricia, Derek is facing 15 years in federal prison. His assets are frozen. His law license is permanently revoked. He's about to lose the house, the car, everything. And you think now he loves me? Tell Derek I said congratulations on finally getting what he deserves. She didn't respond. The trial was a media circus. Derek's affair, the stolen money, the conspiracy. It all came out. Melissa testified against him in exchange for a reduced sentence, admitting they'd planned to frame me for the missing funds. I sat in the gallery every day, watching my former husband's life crumble piece by piece. The man who thought I was too boring, too simple, too beneath his family's standards, reduced to begging the court for mercy. His lawyer tried arguing that he was the victim of manipulation by older, more experienced criminals. The jury didn't buy it. Derek got 12 years. Marcus got 10. Rebecca got 15, since she'd been the mastermind behind the client information selling scheme. After the sentencing, Patricia approached me in the courthouse hallway. She looked like she'd aged a decade in 6 months. "Are you happy now?" she asked bitterly. I considered the question. "Patricia, I'm not happy that your son chose to become a criminal. I'm not happy that he thought so little of me that he planned to destroy my life. But am I happy that justice was served? Yes." She started crying then. Real tears, not the theatrical ones she used to manipulate people. "He was a good boy," she whispered. "No," I said gently. "He wasn't, and you knew it. You all knew it, but you enabled it because it was easier than admitting the golden boy had serious problems." I walked away, leaving her standing there in the courthouse lobby. 6 months later, I opened my own consulting firm. Turns out having $2.8 million and a compelling story about exposing financial fraud makes you quite attractive to investors. The business took off faster than I'd imagined. Within a year, I had 12 employees and offices in 3 cities. The woman Derek thought wasn't ambitious enough was building an empire while he learned how to make license plates. I got a letter from him once, forwarded through my lawyer since I'd blocked all direct contact. He was sorry. He'd made mistakes. He still loved me. He'd been manipulated by Rebecca and Melissa. If I would just visit him, we could work things out. I never responded. 2 years after the trial, I was featured on the cover of Business Weekly. From betrayal to billions, how Sarah Chen built a financial empire from the ashes of scandal. The article detailed my journey from housewife to CEO, but what it couldn't capture was the deeper transformation. I wasn't the same woman who'd sat quietly through years of subtle insults and condescension. I'd found my voice, my strength, my worth. The day the magazine hit the stands, I got a call from Marcus. He was out on parole, working at a fast food restaurant and living in a studio apartment. "Sarah," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I saw the article. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, we were wrong about you, about everything." "I know you were," I replied. Would you consider, could you maybe help me get back on my feet? I've learned my lesson. I could work for you. Start at the bottom." I let the silence stretch out. "Marcus, do you remember what you said to me at Thanksgiving dinner? About handling things maturely? No drama?" "Yes," he said quietly. "This is me handling things maturely. The answer is no." I hung up. Last month, I bought the Morrison family house at auction. Patricia couldn't afford the payments after Derek's assets were seized. I got it for 60 cents on the dollar. I had it completely renovated, knew everything, erased every trace of their perfect toxic family dinners. Now it's a halfway house for women leaving abusive relationships. Women who need a safe place to rebuild their lives after discovering that the people who claimed to love them were actually their worst enemies. I named it the Second Chance House and put a small plaque by the door. Sometimes the family that tears you down gives you the strength to build something beautiful. Patricia drives by sometimes. I see her car parked across the street, just sitting there, staring at what used to be her kingdom. I don't feel sorry for her. Derek will be eligible for parole in 6 years. I've been told he's a model prisoner, that he's found God, that he's genuinely changed. Maybe he has. Maybe prison taught him humility that his family's wealth and privilege never could. It doesn't matter to me either way. The woman who believed his promises, who accepted his family's cruelty, who thought she deserved their scraps of affection, that woman died at a Thanksgiving dinner table 3 years ago. The woman who rose from those ashes built something they never could have imagined. Not just a business, but a life of purpose. Not just wealth, but worth. Sometimes people ask if I ever missed the old life. The answer is simple. You can't miss something that was never real. Their love was conditional. Their acceptance came with a price. Their family was built on lies and maintained through manipulation. What I have now is authentic, earned, unshakable. Derek thought he was trading up when he chose Melissa over me. His family thought they were getting rid of dead weight when they planned my humiliation. Instead, they freed me to become everything they were too blind to see I already was. The best revenge isn't destruction. It's transformation. It's becoming so successful, so fulfilled, so genuinely happy that your former life looks like a prison you didn't even know you were trapped in. Every morning, I wake up in my beautiful apartment, look out at the harbor, and remember the woman who used to tiptoe around other people's egos, who thought love meant accepting less than she deserved. That woman saved my life by refusing to accept theirs. And that's a gift I'll be grateful for forever. What's your most shocking family revelation? Have you ever discovered that people you trusted were working against you? Share your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it.